what's happening with the trade war. It's not about Mexico. It's not about U.S. relationships. It's really what's happening with China. How many of you have an iPhone? Pick it up, put it up in the air if you have an iPhone. Higher. Okay. Who has a phone that's not an iPhone? Raise yours. What percent of that is not made in the United States? About 90%. So if we're going to make these from the United States, what's going to happen to commodities? What's going to happen for us in Mexico? We're going to be in a great situation. Right now, those are all the places that are producing for China the iPhone. So with that type of production on the iPhone, I don't know what Trump thinks. That's a lot of plants to build in the United States. This is the opportunity for mining in Mexico. Here in Mexico, we have a great chance. So this morning, if anyone wants a copy of the talk, you can get one, please. Just send me an email or give me your card. Glad to talk about it. This is a little bit about the outlook of what we see for Mexico in the next year and the next 5 years for what we see, and particularly how it is for raising money with the financial markets. Do you have a handheld one? This thing doesn't hold. This is what it's felt like to work here in Mexico recently for the past president. It was like a flat tire. This has been a real frustration for us, I think. But now is there a better chance? Is there something better to do here in Mexico? Do you think now with the new president, maybe we have a chance for a change? I've been sitting around waiting at the airport, waiting for the planes to take off. We've been waiting for the new regulations. We've been waiting for what's going to happen with the Mexican government, what's going to happen. That one fits better there, guys. The one. So what's happening with the direction of mines? What's happening with Semarnat? And particularly for the president of Mexico. What is the president of Mexico going to be up to for helping to support mining? The commodities are taking off. Things are moving up. The gold price has taken off. It's gone over $3,000. Silver price has gone up. We've seen this happen. So with metal prices going up, what is Mexico's chance? And have we been following it? The investment's been coming. We've seen new financings. There's been a lot of financings generally for exploration, for mining, lots of things happening. But now what's happening with tariffs? What's happening for tariffs is an opportunity for Mexico. Because what's happening for tariffs is the market's dropping. And with that drop in the market, the commodities are hitting. They still are strong. I was just getting communication from our shareholders in Europe. They're out of U.S. stocks, but they're holding gold. They're holding the investment in silver. And Mexico being the silver country. With Trump and Elon Musk, they're planning this great move in the stock market, which is terrible, of course, when these stocks happen. Having commodities is great. Entonces, en español, ¿qué pasa aquí para nosotros con los arrancales? Trump habitó por ahora, después empieza de nuevo. ¿Cómo vemos nosotros? ¿Qué está pasando? Cuando vemos el precio de oro y si los fluidos a los ETFs, el dinero va desde verde, entra para oro y sale, el dinero ya va para oro. El precio de oro sube, la consumición de oro sube y el interés sube. Como sube para el interés, hay buen potencial. Pero ahora, con los tariffs, empieza a caer. El índice para los mineros, la gente que está minando, va subiendo, subiendo. Y para nosotros aquí en México hay posibilidad de finanzas. Hay posibilidad de inversión. Y México, este tiempo, desde enero hasta abril, estuvimos todavía esperando. Pero estamos felices. Al final está empezando a salir permisos. Necesito una mía, tiene que hacerlo, pero están saliendo. Pero el mercado cayó. Y en plata también. Lo bonito es que esto es en las acciones, no en los precios de metales. La oportunidad para los que están produciendo, la oportunidad para los que tienen recursos, son legítimamente positivo. So what is the situation in the global markets? The global markets are coming. We had a financing window. That financing window slammed shut. Right now it's very difficult. This is the chance for Mexico to take advantage of that, because we can actually get our projects right. We can be ready. This conference right now, we really must thank Doug, Adelina, making this happen. How many of you were during COVID when we all went to Jalisco and went to Guadalajara and did the conference? Raise your hand. About 10. And you're here now. Doug has held this together. And this is the thing we want to thank Doug and Adelina and the team, so we can be ready. So put our hands up. Claudia did. She won. She won, and she has such strong power now. There's so much political support for Claudia and such a chance that the government could really make a difference. They laid out 100 items, and they put us in mining about open pits at 87, and they put us at about 89. But they have strength and security. Who here in Mexico is concerned about their security when you're in Mexico? Raise your hand. Come on, are you not afraid? I am. Come on. Who here doesn't have a wife, doesn't have a father, doesn't have a child? I do. So I'm concerned. Security is important. Allowing open pits. We were just at the PDAC. The PDAC, the subsecretary spoke. After he spoke, there was a person in the audience. Who was there at the PDAC at the procession there? Don, who was the person that asked the question, the first question after the speech there? Yeah, it was me. Right. Yeah, it was me. I was the one who said, hey, guy, okay, what's happening? Is this going to be open pits or no? And he said, yes. Okay. Did I ask it in Spanish? No, in English. Yo podía preguntarlo en español. Y fue chistoso porque me trajeron uno de estos para que yo podía escuchar y entender el español. Qué bueno, porque dijeron, pues, tal vez este muchacho no habla español. Pero de verdad, si estos cambios y esto pasa para nosotros, es positivo. Si ella puede lograr toda esta agenda y puede impactar positivamente. Entonces, ¿qué pasa con la política? En la política, mejor, ok. Me gusta cuando arreglan mis labios. Entonces el Congreso de México es controlado con Morena y con este porcentaje de tantas sillas. Y el House of Representatives también. Y los gobernadores, 27. Es 80% de los gobernadores en México o más son de Morena. Y la Corte Suprema ya es controlada. Entonces, y tienen esa mayoría. Entonces, qué fabulosa oportunidad para Morena y se llama a ayudar a la minoría. Estupendo la oportunidad. El mercado, la tarifa, ella está haciendo fabuloso, diciendo, mira hombre, yo soy mujer. Tal vez no ha leído que esto es el año de la mujer indígena. Eso es el año de mi mujer aquí en México. The approval polls are so positive. She has 82% positive. AMLO only had 74. We look at the strong coalition. Here, I took this photo when I was with the Congress, the Seminario in Hermosillo. I took this with the governor of Sonora there, saying how he is so supportive of mining, and he is from Morena. The 82% of the governors. So the financial markets, they love to seek financial certainty. They like to see that we can be predictable. They like that we can see that we can move things fast. They definitely want to invest as long as they can have certainty about what's going to happen. So I think we're still sitting at that airport waiting again. But I'm hopeful in June and July. So what is the outlook? We're hopeful that in June and July, when the government comes out, while they have such great control, that they can work with us. And it is fabulous. The Cámara Minera and all of us are trying to communicate and work. Doug did fabulous, having all of the people up here at the inauguration last night, letting everyone realize that mining is important, because right now with higher metal prices, with the challenges of tariffs, with the protectionism, Mexico, working with the United States, is in a great position to have capital flows to us. So what's going to happen with 13 of different topics here? For financing, of course, I'm not going to talk about all this because there would be a filibuster for the rest of the day. So I welcome discussing these topics with you later. I'm here today and tomorrow. Please, let's discuss them. But what's happening, and these are impacting the ability to do mine finance. Each of these topics are things that we are dealing with every day, and this really make a difference. Who here is at a stand, working here has a stand? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have a stand, you're here as a proveedor. Más de la mitad. Y por esto, estamos más de la mitad. Necesitamos que el dinero viene. Y entonces, cuando esto sirve, ya puede venir el dinero. El dinero quiere. Pero cuando faltan estas cosas, el dinero no pasa el due diligence y mueve a otro país. Mueve a Argentina, mueve a diferentes partes. Y Trump es ayudándonos, porque él es poniendo tanta pelea con todos. México es muy cerca. Sheinbaum está haciendo muy buena comunicación con Trump. Entonces nosotros tenemos muy buena oportunidad. Pero estas policies, estos temas, sí tenemos que ver cómo comunicar, cómo manejar, cómo avanzar. Recién ha sido muy buenas compras, muy buenas entre, por ejemplo, Core Mining comprando Silvercrest de 1.7 mil millones de dólares. Es tremenda. Y First Majestic comprando gatos para casi 1,000 millones de dólares. Estos son números muy grandes. Vista Silver tiene stand aquí, tiene muy buena geología, muy interesante. Hay buena oportunidad. Y ya mi panza está lleno porque comí esta mañana con Guanajuato Silver. Y aprendí qué tan buen futuro tiene Guanajuato Silver ahora. Y tiene un buen liderazgo. Y Heliostar. Yo tuve diapositivas para Heliostar de Ana Paula. Y fui aquí a Korshak. Y ya tienen la Colorada. Y unos cores que deben visitar. Muy interesante. So what is the outlook? What is the outlook for mining? One of the companies is Riverside. There's lots of companies working. This theme of open pit is vital. Riverside had to relook at all of our projects. How would they work as underground to get them financed? So for the last 5 years, we had to keep pushing and make them underground projects. But now if they can be open pit, that'll really make a difference. Also permits. Riverside recently got 2 new drill permits in the last 60 days. No, we didn't put out any news releases. We don't want to wake up anyone that's sleeping. We're happy to keep getting permits, but we're moving ahead, and that's great. We have 4 projects that are available, and we're glad to talk to people about projects. These projects are for porphyry copper, for gold, and we have 2 projects right now in Sonora that we're doing drilling on and doing exploration with partners on. First project, Cuarentas. It's near the Santa Gertrudis mine, near Las Chispas. This project Riverside owns. Riverside consolidated. Due to the mining regulations, Riverside went and purchased all the claims around it, completed all of our options, worked with the amparos. We're lucky enough to have our amparos accepted. We welcome working with people that are looking for teams that want to work in Mexico and develop projects. We've had over 2,500 meters of drilling. We have these former mines, these former veins, these zones of mineralization. And we're close to the near operation, so you could have direct shipping ore from these places. We have high grades, both for copper and for gold and silver. And the access is terrific. We're only 10 kilometers from Riverside. And if anyone wants a copy of this presentation about the whole thing, it's just, email me. Glad to share the information about what we see are topics of concern, politics, environment, all those things, but also about geology and projects. When we go to look at a project, we want to look at scale. When you look at scale, first off is, what's the scale of alteration? Here we have 10 kilometers north-south, 8 kilometers east-west, big alteration footprint. We want to see former mining. Here the Spanish used to mine. Some of this ore used to feed into Riverside. Riverside was the capital of Sonora, before Hermosillo. It was the capital of Sonora because of the high-grade mining. And you think about success, look what Las Chispas did. Look what they did after they sold to First Majestic, Silvercrest. They went and made the next Silvercrest and made another $1.7 billion. That's a lot of billions. That's a lot of money. That's really cool. So we have that type of project. It's super exciting with veins, with mineralization, owned 100% by Riverside. We had projects under option. My lawyers suggested to me that we complete those options, taking advantage of our amparos that we have now, given what might happen in the future. So when we look at all those different items, from making things financeable, you have to have certainty of title. And there's been some concerns about what happened with Bacanora Minerals, what happened to Almaden, has made a lot of fear in New York, Toronto, Perth, worldwide. Those fears, we in Mexico need to explain how we can get past those, and those aren't going to happen to us and our projects. Those fears are quite real. So when I go with a copper project like Ariel, I'm only 20 kilometers from the open pit operations at La Caridad. I'm in laramide rocks. I'm in a good porphyry system. I have great geology and not been drilled at Ariel. Yes, we've been waiting for 12 years for Libertades. That haven't happened. We have our title, we have our project. But because we've waited, we have lost access to $28 million. First, the capital we had with Cliffs. Then with Antofagasta. Then we had a deal with BHP. All of those guys wanted the project, liked it, but they wanted to see that it's bigger. What we see is we have what we have, and we have it drill permitted now. We just got a drill permit for this project. It took us 4 years to work to get that permit. We have a drill permit. It's drilled private ranch land. We can buy the ranches. It's a great project. Riverside has a database of 72,000 mineral locations in Mexico. Riverside has a database of every quad at 50,000 and 250,000 with the geological stratigraphy. We've been working on this database to find the very best projects. So when we can get these projects, stake them or now acquire them. So we've been acquiring projects. We acquire these from private owners, and thus I really like to discuss with lawyers how to best do that now, to work together to get these good projects. There are great projects out there. And they're really good. And there isn't a lot of competition. And, that guy in Washington, D.C. is helping us a hell of a lot. Captain Chaos is great for Mexico. Donald Trumpola over there is great because those people that are going to be afraid of investing right now, we know these good projects are ready to go. Where can you go out on the surface 20 kilometers from a big operation and never have drilling of different veins and structures? It's been so wonderful to see how Kootenai, how Silver Viper, how so many different companies have gone into these vein districts and come up with really great discoveries and made great companies. And it's awesome. Myself running Riverside now for 18 years, we've helped 7 companies form, and we're now spinning out our 8th. But guess what the 8th or the 7th? Guess where the 7th had to be? 5 years ago when AMLO came, I had to leave. Now I've grown back a mustache. I had to leave and went to Canada. I went to Ontario. I staked properties. I did drilling. We did 8 projects. 3 of them worked out. Last Friday, I got approval from the shareholders to spin out, through our special AGM, to the shareholders, the separation of Riverside again. 6 years ago, when AMLO came in, I did that for you as shareholders. We separated Riverside, and Capitan Mining, now called Capitan Silver, was spun out. Riverside took our lead asset. Mexico is a great project. Capitan's a great company, and the project continues, and we've done that. And Riverside left for the AMLO time. We left. We worked on permitting. We worked on buying projects. We worked on being ready today. Now is the time. Wake up. What Trump is doing is so great for Mexico. So Riverside is ready to act. So we have projects, Vigay. We bought the properties. We went to the local owners. We consolidated the land while everyone else was doing whatever they were doing. And Riverside was over here playing in Ontario and doing work in Ontario. Down here in Mexico, we were acquiring these projects, getting good projects, and now we have those ready to go. So we're ready to go. Swaki, we have a whole portfolio of copper projects. Great database on copper. And we have these corporate portfolio. Now, our partners couldn't stay. It was too complicated, just couldn't stay. We had to find a way to stay. Some of my guys had to learn English. I drive in Vancouver with a truck that has a Sonora Hermosillo plate. I think I'm the only one in British Columbia who parks a Hermosillo truck in West Vancouver. It's the most expensive neighborhood in all of Canada, and there's my white pickup truck there. I took the labels off so it doesn't say Riverside Resources, but other than that, it's a nice Mexico truck. And now it's actually in Kamloops today working. Kamloops is in British Columbia because we have lots of work still going there. I hope to bring the trucks back here. I hope in June and July, these new regulations will allow us to come back. We see what Shenbaum needs to do. We see what's possible. And we see that Trump has given us this opportunity right now. So wonderful him to shake things up so much. Those that have a vision and have a plan, as Riverside does, to acquire good projects, to work with good partners, to own outcropping copper. There was an outcrop of copper like this in a country called Mongolia. It's now called Ivanhoe Mines, Oyu-Tolgoi, but at the time it was Anomaly 62. We were working with Magma Copper Company. We went out in the field, we sampled it, we worked on it. Magma Copper Company was purchased by a giant big company, BHP. This project was seen as too small. The Vice President of Exploration, a gentleman named Hugo Dummett, who was my mentor, said, this is a good project. They went and got this investor called Robert Friedland, and he's built it into being now 70% of the country of Mongolia. That's what we can do with this M country. Mongolia, Mexico, make a difference. Here in Swaki, these copper projects are super good. My doctorate was in Arizona. We worked on Arizona projects. I worked on this prospect called Resolution. And that was a lucky shot. I was working in Magma Copper. We were drilling angle holes to try to see where we could extend the mine life. And Scott Mansky, the geologist, realized we had a whole wide area of advanced argillic alteration with enargite high sulfidation veins going right through the middle. And he said, let's drill deeper. We drilled deeper, and the management team supported it. And that support of management made big mines. So I'm so delighted to have the support and working myself with Fortuna Mining. They're partnered with us on the project Cecilia. And we're drilling there together, finding stuff. And we got to drill 3 times deeper. We drilled 800-meter holes. Riverside would only drill 100, 200-meter holes, wouldn't drill. And we're hitting, and it's super exciting. And we're so excited to work with the different corporations that are here. So the drilling companies and partnering with Riverside, we love it. We've enjoyed working with so many different companies, and so good. And so we're excited about the chance for discovery. Also the Union Project, just south of Caborca. Working right now on that project is great, and what we see here at the Union Project is large carbonate replacement type of alteration. That carbonate replacement alteration is similar to the geology that you find in Arizona. ¿Quién ha ido a Arizona a visitar las minas en Arizona? Levanta la mano si han ido a visitar minas en Arizona. Ok, unos pocos. Entonces te invito, la geología de Arizona es pura línea. Venga a visitarnos aquí en el Proyecto Unión. La misma geología y no necesita un visa. Puede venir a visitarnos, es fácil, es bonita, es sur de Caborca. Y aquí tenemos la misma geología que se ve en los distritos mineros, que se ve allí en Arizona, donde South 32, Hud Bay, Arizona Metals, Arizona Mining están trabajando. Y aquí en México no hay competencia. Tenemos muy buen proyecto. Entonces aquí, mire tanta área que tenemos. Ya tenemos la mina antigua, tenemos la área puede ir subterránea. Esto es el Proyecto Unión que Riverside tiene. Ahí es una sección de las obras antiguas. Y encantados, si tienen interés en proyectos, estamos disponibles para cambiar con proyectos. Entonces, aquí yo, hace un par de meses en la Baranación, pues nosotros vemos que hay muy buena oportunidad. Ha sido finanzas, ha sido compras, ha sido 1.7 mil millones de dólares de compras. Ha sido muy bueno compras por production deals. Porque el alto precio de metales y el interés sube, entonces ya quieren comprar. Y hay una ventana de oportunidad. El precio de metales no está cayendo, es subiendo. El valor del dólar es cayendo. Trump es ayudándonos. Ya si cotiza el precio de oro en otras cosas, ya va a ser mejor porque ha sido cayendo el dólar ahora con estos cambios de Trump. Si podemos arreglar y organizarnos para tener certeza, ojalá en junio, julio de este año, ya puede venir el dinero, quiere venir el dinero. Necesitamos sí hacer sostenible. Fue fabuloso escuchar que está haciendo Guanajuato Silver. Es excelente escuchar los diferentes artistas en qué está haciendo con las comunidades. Muy importante y sí, y esto se hace para que se pueda trabajar. Los gobiernos positivos cuando viene a PDAC y dicen sí puede ser tal cubierto y sí van a ser los cambios, es positivo. Entonces yo veo ahora es muy positivo. Entonces hay esperanzas. There are hopes. Now how do we turn hopes into dreams and not tears? Definitely working with the cluster mineros, definitely working with the Cámara Minero, definitely working with the different organizations, and definitely trying to communicate that as we go forward, Mexico can make a big difference. I'm very positive. These projects are good. During the AMLO time, I had to leave and go work other places. Now I've grown a mustache back because I'm like, okay, we're back in Mexico. My wife's like, really? What? I'm like, we're selling Canada. We're giving up on that. We're coming back here. Really excited about the potential. You can get deals done. We're getting new permits. We're able to move ahead. It's all about partners. It's about projects. And particularly about people. If there's anyone here that's looking to work, we'd love to have people that want to work. We're actually working to create yet another company. This morning I saw someone that had a Blue Jays hat. The company Blue Jay Gold, that's getting thrown out. That's getting gone. That one we're finishing. So now I got to put on a new hat. What's the name of that new sombrero going to be? And who's going to be on that new team? We created Capitan Silver. Alberto Orozco is killing it. Really great. We're super excited. So people, we're glad. So if any of you are looking to do things, please go ahead and email me. Give me your card. Glad to. We're looking for projects. We have cash. We have no debt. Glad to pick those up as well. But the most important thing is about you. Make a difference. Follow that. Those lines of items. Work on those with the people that are in your business, with your friends. Every time I get in an Uber, I have the same conversation about mining, politics, how do we make a difference? Going to Mexico City, and thank you all for your time. If there are any questions, if there's not time now, I welcome outside. I'm here for the next couple of days. Really welcome any emails. But thank you very much for coming this morning. It's a real honor for me to grow a mustache and to be